Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into something that feels like it's been ripped straight from a science fiction novel, an AI that can literally decode your thoughts. And, as we're about to see, the moment this news broke, the world's reaction was immediate and completely split down the middle.
This one question says it all. It was posted online just moments after the breakthrough was announced, and it perfectly captures the tension at the heart of this entire story, the incredible promise, and the absolutely terrifying peril of an AI that can read our minds.
So, what are we actually talking about here? Well, it's a new technique. Some are calling it mind captioning, that can generate sentences describing what a person is seeing or even just what they're picturing in their head. And the wild part? It does this using only a non-invasive scan of their brain activity. Yeah, this is not science fiction anymore. This is real. Okay, so let's get into it, because the first wave of reactions for a lot of people was just pure hope. They immediately started focusing on the unbelievable, life-changing good this could do. And honestly, the potential applications sound almost miraculous. Just think about it. We could give a voice back to people who've lost it, maybe after a stroke or to patients with locked-in syndrome. Imagine being able to restore that connection for someone. We could even start to understand how different brains actually see the world. Like, what's really happening inside the mind of someone with aphantasia versus hyperphantasia? And then there's the one that gets everyone excited. Could we finally transcribe our dreams straight from our sleeping minds? The possibilities are just, wow. Right. But for every single one of those hopeful comments, you'd find another one asking a much darker question. A question that expressed a really deep and really immediate fear. What happens when this kind of power gets into the wrong hands? And just like that, the conversation took a sharp turn. People started painting this picture of a future where our very last private sanctuary, our own mind, is no longer safe, no longer ours. One user, Dr. Prof. Joe, actually wrote this little piece of flash fiction that is just chilling. It so vividly imagines how this tech could be twisted into a tool for coercive interrogation, a way to just bypass rights, consent, everything. It's a really powerful and frankly terrifying vision of the future. And that was really just the tip of the iceberg. The fears just poured out. Everything from the kind of annoyingly intrusive, like ads that are tailored to your brain's subconscious reactions, all the way to things that would fundamentally change our society. Things like charging people with thought crimes, or a thief stealing their bank pin right out of your head. Now, these fears aren't just coming from random people on the internet. They're actually being echoed in academic and ethics circles. There's this concept called cognitive liberty, which is basically the right to mental privacy. The argument is, look, if our thoughts can be watched, if they can be surveilled, then our freedom to even think freely, to explore ideas, even controversial or bad ones, is completely at risk. Okay, so how close are we really to that dystopian interrogation room? Is this something we need to worry about next year, or is it still 100 years away? Let's take a breath and ground ourselves in what the technology can actually do, right here, right now. As one user brilliantly pointed out, the gap between the sci-fi dream and today's reality is, well, it's huge. You are not going to be subtly scanned walking down the street. To make this work today, you need a massive multi-ton fMRI machine. The kind you have to lie perfectly still inside of, probably with a giant tank of liquid nitrogen humming nearby. It's not exactly portable. And on top of that, we have to remember that this groundbreaking study was just a proof of concept. It's a crucial first step, but it's still a first step. The reporter who covered the story made it clear that the AI model was trained on the brain activity of just 6 people. 6! It's an absolutely stunning start for sure, but it's just that, a start. But here's the thing, focusing only on the clunky hardware is kind of missing the point. The hardware is only half the story. The real engine, the thing driving both all the hope and all the fear, is the software. It's the AI super engines that are growing at this insane exponential rate. You can think of the scanner as just the microphone. The AI is the interpreter. And that interpreter? It's becoming unbelievably powerful. We've got models now like Moonshot AI's Kimi K2 with 1 trillion or more parameters. And you can think of parameters as sort of like the neurons in the AI's brain. The more it has, the more complex the stuff it can understand and process. This massive scale is unlocking capabilities we could not have imagined just a few years ago. So here's the crucial point. These models aren't just being built to be fancy chatbots. They're being designed for what's called agentic intelligence. They're being built to be autonomous agents that can reason, use tools, and solve complex problems all on their own. Now, what happens when you connect that kind of AI to a brain scanner? Suddenly, the timeline for some of those sci-fi scenarios starts to look a whole lot shorter.
This immense power and the speed it's developing at has forced the industry to look these dystopian fears right in the face. So the question becomes, how are they trying to build in some guardrails before it's too late?
Well, on November 6, 2024, Microsoft made a big announcement. They formed a new team, and its mission is very specific and very, very telling. Their goal, they say, is not a race to some godlike artificial general intelligence, or AGI. Instead, they are very explicitly aiming for something they call humanist superintelligence, or HSI. The core idea here is to build AI that is carefully controlled, that's contextualized, and that's designed from the very beginning to serve humanity by solving real, concrete problems.
This whole strategy feels like a direct response to all those ethical concerns we were just talking about. It's like they're trying to formally reject that race to AGI narrative and instead focus on harnessing the incredible benefits while trying to contain the very real existential risks.
So, where does that leave us? We've seen the incredible promise, a voice for the voiceless. We've felt the chilling peril, a world with no mental privacy. And we've seen the industry's attempt to chart a safer course forward. The technology is no longer a hypothetical, it's real. Which leaves all of us with a final and absolutely critical question to consider. The tool is being built. The choice of what to build with it is now ours.